Fireside Chats, Brad Jacob.
and that's how we're gonna have that. Fireside Chats, Brad Jacob. What's up, man? Welcome to this installment of Fireside Chats.
The fire is crackling. It's nice and warm.
Yeah, we don't have a fire right now. We got a black wall with these things. I don't think we're gonna have a fire. Are we gonna have a fire superimposed?
We'd have to shoot in front of the green screen.
All right. Well, the green screen's over there, and we're here, so we're not having a fire.
Acoustic tile side chat.
It is. I feel like we're gonna bring out the acoustic guitars here in a second. And
I should have brought mine.
You play?
Since I'm 15.
Oh, right on, man. That could have been oddly cool. Me getting mesmerized by your guitar.
You would think it was cool, but I tried to float that in one of my videos, and
doesn't work.
I got so much flack.
I bet you did. I mean, that's the fun part about this industry, is where you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna rip out the guitar and play a little tune, and everybody's like,
show a little side of me, and everyone's like, no, just stick to machining.
Nobody wants to see that shit, hero.
Messing up your scripts.
Exactly. So, yeah, welcome to this installment of Fireside Chat.
Thank you.
This is the third one that we've done now, second one that I've done, so I'm pretty happy to be back in the hot seat and be sitting down with you. So, you're another YouTube sensation in the machining industry. I know, I gotta say.
People are booing right now.
I wanted to see your reaction.
He's not.
And there goes the dislike button.
Unsubscribe.
Do you get notifications when they dislike, like on Instagram, where they all pop up? No, okay. So, how long have you been YouTubing? Like, how did that all come about, and why?
All right. There's two facets to this.
I need the full. We got time. Trust me.
Full memory cards, right? No, so I started restoring machines.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever posted anything on a forum, you know that it's like a 5-picture minimum.
Right.
So I'm like, this is ridiculous.
What forum? Were you like Practical Machinist?
Practical Machinist.
Okay, so that's where it all stemmed from, was Practical Machinist.
So I started restoring a South Bend lathe,
mm-hmm.
and it was coming out nice, and I wanted to show pictures of it. Then when it was all done, I saw the reaction, people were getting, like the before and after. Even my own reaction, I was like, wow, that's amazing. How something so ugly comes out so nice.
Right.
So I created a slideshow on a computer,
mm-hmm.
created a video, and I'm like, I'll just upload it to this new thing, YouTube.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't that new. This was 2010, I think. And I would just send a link. Here, check this out. It was way easier. It was literally done out of necessity.
Right.
Like FlexArm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Built out of necessity. This was built out of necessity. And then you come to the first thing. What is your username? And I'm like, oh boy. I don't know. I'm in the BasementShopGuy.
Right.
It was 3 seconds of thought.
No thought. It was that was it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's always the next question. How'd you get the name?
I mean, it was because I'm filling out the application,
mm-hmm.
so it's the email application, required field. It was better than blah blah blah.
Yeah. 42069 guy. Because everybody wants to add that in. They all want that
Man
cool.
101.
Yeah. They all want to add that in and be cool with it. But no, I like that, and it's authentic. It's organic. It's kind
problematic.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
everybody goes, why did I name my channel that? Because your
Right.
channel always evolves into something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I don't want to be known as a basement guy. So of course, when my shop moved up into the garage, mm-hmm. everybody's like, you're coming out from the dead. You're resurrected. You're now garage shop guy. Blah blah.
Right.
I'm like, oh boy. So yeah.
Yeah, but you're still Basement Shop Guy.
I think it would have been better as blah blah blah.
Guy.
Yeah.
69.
69.
No, so like your early start in life, you were a carpenter.
Yes.
You got into woodworking. That was like the family thing, or
Yes.
Okay. So
I was going to be a machinist in high school, like I have on my bio. Did great in it, loved it, and I worked at a machine shop at the time. And one of the owner's sons said that he was going to college for trigonometry, and I was like, I don't want to be a machinist anymore. I don't want to go to college. Wow. Yeah, I'm out. And just like 12th grader laziness.
Yeah.
I'll just become a carpenter.
I get it. You get complacent.
Yeah.
It's the easy route to take. That's what we kind of last night had that conversation, sat down, broke bread, grabbed a couple beers, sat in the studio, Isaac, for entirely too long. And just to get the feel of like what this is, because, like we were talking, it's a bit intimidating periodically. When you're used to being at your own shop and then you walk into something like this and, there's a bloody green screen sitting over there and you're like, God, what are they going to put behind me?
Oh,
Godzilla rolling in.
I said, bring it on. This is fun.
Yeah, I like it. So from carpentry, right? So you do the carpentry thing. How long were you a carpenter? Like as a full-time job.
As a full-time job.
Yeah,
So
once a carpenter, always a carpenter.
Started in 89, and then by 92 I went to computer school.
Okay.
Because I was being laid off all the time.
Yeah.
Not like I was telling you.
Going to the
job ends,
yeah.
you're laid off. So with rent to pay at 19 and bills and stuff, I needed to make money. So it's funny because you have this circle of friends when you're young.
Yep.
Guys and girls, and this girl told me, this girl Michelle, who I'm still friends with, she says, I'm going to secretarial school. And I said, how much money can you make? I remember this. She's like, $18,000 a year. I'm like, so I'm signing up.
Yeah, put me in, coach.
At least it's steady. You
Right.
know, that was big money that long ago and with no bills.
You'd make a bomb-ass secretary.
I would, right?
I can just imagine that. Like, do I have any calls today, Mr. Jacob? Sorry.
So, no, so, she goes, they have computer programming there too. And I was like, well, how much do they make? And she goes, oh, you can make $30,000. I was like, I'm going to be a computer programmer. That quick of a decision.
Well, and that was the time frame that you got to think that was when that computer revolution was really gaining its momentum. The internet was a fad, right? It was, this thing's not going to last more than a couple of years. Now we got internet on our damn watches.
Just to put it in perspective, so 92 I started, signed up in 92, started in like 93, ended in late 93. God, I'm getting my dates wrong. Somewhere's around there. I took a job as a computer programmer all through 94 and then moved on to my second job, which was it was a printing press. So it had manufacturing floor, it had a machine shop, and I would always go in there and hang out and visit the guys and like see the machines. And then 95 happened and some guy was on a thing. He goes, I'm surfing the internet. What the hell is the internet? And I'm looking, I'm like a gray screen with just text and these blue hyperlinks. And surfing means clicking from one link to the next to the next. And I actually can remember, bear with me on this one, how cool it felt to receive an email.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. Like, oh my God, I got your message, like from somebody down the hall.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's a digital fax. You know what I mean? Faxing was, pretty high speed back in that day.
Yeah.
That was new. And then you get the email and you're like, whoa, dude.
Same thing with the cell phone. Driving with the cell phone the first time in the 90s. I'm like, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you from my truck. How cool is this? No, but so that that was 95 and Windows 95 came out then, and then computers. And I'm still in that field today, 9 to 5. And then that brings us to, God, we're all over the place here.
Oh, we are, but that's what's fun about it.
So 2010 is when
Sorry if you're trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
2010 was when I was restoring my first machine and started this whole thing. But you said how did like the YouTube thing come across, and I posted the slideshow of this, and then I would put like fishing videos and just like whatever other videos on there for people to see, and I'm looking and I'm going, I got subscribers.
People actually want to see
what the hell is subscribing to me? This is just a slideshow. And then you discover YouTube. To summarize it pretty quick, you discover YouTube. You have a conversation with somebody. They tell you about ad revenue and how to get started and stuff like that. And
it's funny when you start breaking it down, because that's the conversation again last night. All you dudes come in here and you're big, burly. Like literally people walk up to me at trade shows and they're like, dude, I thought you would be taller. I'm 5'7", I'm $165. I thought you'd be taller, I thought you'd be a bigger guy. And then I watched your A-bomb video and you're actually bigger than I anticipated because Adam's a big dude, you're a broad guy. And then I sit down with you guys and I feel like I need to sit up a little bit taller because...
Wait, hold on. I'll just...
Let's not do that shit. That's that East Coast thing we were talking about last night.
Oh, I can put on the East Coast persona.
You're so East Coast. Yeah, you're
what?
so East Coast.
What? Sorry.
Why? I don't have time. I gotta go. So, coming out of YouTube, it all evolved kind of 2010, and again, it goes back to Practical Machinists, which I know us as a marketing team. We're starting to see that pattern of Practical Machinists, and a lot of these guys, this whole Tony, A-Bomb, Saunders, you name it, they all started to get that original push from Practical Machinists, and that's where everything flowed from, was that forum style audience, and you start to build that audience. And it's cool that you were limited to 5 photos, and you wanted to add more into it, so you're like, oh, let's try this YouTube thing out.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube was just cat videos at the time,
right?
And Charlie bit my finger kind of stuff.
Correct.
I remember Adam from Practical Machinist, and I remember seeing Adam's first video, and I was like, God, that looks like that guy Adam from Practical Machinist. I wonder if it's the same guy, and of course it is. If you've heard of Rob Renzetti.
Right.
I actually, I've met Rob now through YouTube and stuff, and Rob lives close to me. And I've gone back and I was looking at one of my posts, one of my restoration posts, and Rob was commenting on it. You don't even realize some of the guys who you're friends with today were, come from the trenches with you.
Look at you and I. We met at Saunders Open House.
Yeah.
And then I
have to dig for the video.
Yeah, you got to find that video, because that was 2, 3, 4 years ago that John Saunders, NYCCNC, had his open house. We took a FlexArm in there. I'm in there, no beard, which is going to look awesome, because no beard and probably skin tight, fresh out of the military look. And it was cool because we met. Well, you meet so many people over the years, and then you go back to and you're like, dude, we met at Saunders. Yeah. And it's like, what? Oh, dude, we did.
Just
I remember.
The guy Lars, the guy from Fusion. I'm watching the video and I go, oh, there's that guy Lars.
Because you posted it on Facebook, and it got all this interaction off of Facebook, and me being the non-machinist, because, newsflash, not a machinist, not an engineer, sales guy. I'm like, this button makes it go down, this button makes it come up. And the guy's like, that's legit.
I remember going like, you just press the button, you're like, yeah, zip right out. Incredible.
You're like, yeah, that's dope. So John is, I'll tell you, John is our Practical Machinist, Saunders. I can't give the guy enough credit for, starting his YouTube thing, doing it, and to me, and this is going to bring up some topics and people are going to argue in the comments, John's like the godfather of the YouTube machinist, self-taught. Like, he's the dude that I high-five. But, he contacted us. He contacted us, and he and I kind of built this relationship of, how do you help us? Teach me. Let me be that young grasshopper Jedi. Like, I want to be that dude, because that's what's fun. And John was kind of the guy that a lot of people formed themselves after, and then you start to meet the other people in it. You meet Adam, you meet Tony, you meet Lars, you meet you meet, this snowball effect in this community of guys and gals, because we're seeing more of the girls coming in, which is so cool to me. You got a daughter, I got a daughter, and, I look at my daughter and I'm like, God, princesses and unicorns and painting daddy's toenails.
And welding beads.
Yes. How do we get welding in here? The girl at the show, Canadian welder girl, what's her name? Alicia? Anybody? You? Somebody?
Yes.
You in the back row.
Yeah, you guys in the back.
Alicia,
I need your help. Yeah, the Canadian welder girl on Instagram, rolls up, pretty blonde girl, but super skilled welder. And you look and you're like, dude, high five to you. Like, I saw my little 6-year-old blonde hair, blue-eyed daughter in this girl, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to get my daughter doing some really cool shit, because it's neat.
Machining is fun. I think if more people were put in front of a Haas or a manual machine, their jaws would drop.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see it when my son brings his friends into the shop and he's like showboating the shop, like, oh, check out our shop here. Check out my shop.
Oh, yeah.
And David, this is going to all be yours one day.
So he's going to school, no, not to cut you off,
no, yeah.
but he's going to school to be a machinist.
Yep. Votech.
Awesome.
Half a day. He actually, you know, it's funny because they have a South Bend 13 there. They got a South Bend 10-inch like mine. They got Hardinge there, Bridgeports, and he goes on the South Bend 13. And I say to him, why? You have all these like brand new LeBlans and stuff like that, but it's real
man.
cool. He wants to be like me. But when he comes home, he wants to go out with his friends.
So he's 16?
16,
Yeah, he's got things on his mind that
Yep.
we once had as well.
And, you know, I have to keep putting myself in his position because I said, when I came home from school when I was 16, and I absolutely loved machining. It wasn't my dad teaching me.
Right.
It was my German Mr. Todd. That was his name. Really cool guy. Had so much fun in class. But when I came home, I wanted to play my guitar or go out with my friends.
Well, you know, you're gaining your independence at that point.
Yep.
And that's okay. I know how I was when I was 16, man. I came home, I ate dinner, and then I was in that
Out
car
the
and
door,
I was
yeah.
out. You know, until you got to be home at 9 or you got to be home at 10, and you better believe I was home before that curfew. But I stretched it as far as I could because that was that little bit of freedom. And that's where, you know, you and I got into the conversation of dads. And, you know, it's the same conversation that Adam and I kind of got into. And it's like, I feel like all of us guys are so connected and we're so similar in all the same ways because you had a bomb-ass relationship with your father.
Yes.
You know, I told you, my dad is my first phone call every day as soon as I pull out of this parking lot. 99% of the time we talk about nothing, but it's that call. It's that comfort. It's that, what's up, man? And hell, half the time sorry, I just spittled. Half the time it's us sitting there and kind of dead silence, or you know, what are you doing?
Just
watching,
being together.
But you just got that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you said you were the same way, and you lost your dad, right?
Yeah, 2013. He got in 2013, but 2001, motorcycle accident, hit a deer. Just like straight out of a movie, like I told you, the blood. Medivac came and got him. It was horrific. Months and months in rehab, all that. He was kind of a ghost of his former self, and you know, he kind of just sat dormant for 13 years, and then 2013 he passed away from a heart attack. But ironically now, the business that I started, I make parts for the donor tissue industry, and I have one customer. They're a tissue bank in New Jersey. My dad, being the organ donor that he was, got processed through my customer, and I didn't even know it at the time.
Right.
So you talk about the planets aligning.
Right.
So to summarize all, how this has all come full circle. The guy who gave me the opportunity, my friend, childhood friend, my friend Ray, he works for the company. He put me in touch basically with the right people, said, I could get you some work. He watched my YouTube channel grow. He saw my skills growing as I'm learning and my work ethic and just knowing me as a person. We go fishing all the time, right? So we were stuck in traffic and we were talking about how a tissue bank has a machine shop. And he was explaining to me, and that's when, he'd asked me, like, if you're interested, maybe you could do some work for us.
Right.
We contract out lots of stuff. So I got incorporated. I started the business, which is, why the YouTube videos are less. They're still out there, but they're just less.
They're going to build, though.
Yes.
Because we're making a bet. I'm going to win it.
Yeah, oh, wow. That'll be part 2 of this.
That's a fact.
So, finding out about how, like, my dad's donations went and taking the tour and seeing it and knowing that I'm making parts for what processed him. It's this huge aligning of planets. It's sentimental. It's every sort of emotion you could feel all gelled together.
And you've got a passion for it. Like, it's not just a customer. It's not just a part that you're making. But would you say how many people did your dad? 25 people in 27 states or something?
25 people in 15 states.
15 states.
At the time of them checking,
Right.
Because it could, you know, when they take a donation from a person, you know, their tissue is made into products, and those products, like FlexArms, kind of sit on the shelf. They get distributed, so it could keep going and going.
It's like the legacy of that, you know, is you, like I said, with picking up that first contract, and you didn't do this to, you didn't do it to start a business. You accidentally you did it to restore a machine.
Yeah.
And then that turned into this, and then that snowball effect, and then you got a customer. And you got like a full-on customer, and you got contracted work, and
they keep me completely busy.
And the cool part about it is you, just like we said out there in that shop tour, it's that give a shit. You know, it's that give a shit about what you do, care about what you do, put the passion into it, don't half-ass it.
Let me explain it to you this way. My daughter's in the truck waiting to go somewhere. We're gonna go food shopping.
Right now?
I say I gotta go and run in really quick. I forgot my wallet. And when I walk in, you know, the garage door's open, she's right there in the passenger seat, and I walk in the shop and get distracted because I'm on my way to get my wallet that I forgot, and I'm distracted, and I'm looking, and I'm making sure this is turning off this. When you have the passion for it, it's like it's got this gravity that pulls you in, and you don't want to be anywhere but the shop.
Right.
It's very powerful, and they say success is preparedness meets opportunity. And that's exactly what happened with me. I did not try to start a shop, but you know, you see an opportunity and go, oh, you know, there's an opportunity where I could start a business. You grab it. And I always said that every step that I take is always, you know, I stand at the intersection and look both ways. There's no cars coming, and then I take the next logical, conservative step. I'm not yet to the point where I'm taking much risk.
Right.
So, you know, and I got a lot of momentum. It's growing. The company's growing. So it's, and again, I always thank YouTube, because YouTube was my living, breathing resume.
Right. Where we run blindfolded into oncoming traffic here at FlexArm and FlexCNC. You agree? we are at that point. But so what's for Brad Jacob, for the Basement Shop Guy, what is the 1, 3, 5 year goal? What's the plan? What's the next steps? Where's this thing evolving?
5-year plan is I have maxed out every square inch of my 2-car garage.
Good. You're close right now.
Yeah. You know, I still have a walk path. And, I need 2 more machines I need to get, which is going to be, I'm going to target the Tormach, 1100 mil, and a bigger lathe, you know, a gearhead lathe. I need that because the work that I'm getting is it's far outgrown my 10-inch South Bend.
Right.
And I don't think I'll ever get rid of that South Bend.
That thing's a mantelpiece.
I mean, exactly. It's the little beacon. It's the thing that got me started.
Yep.
So I owe it a debt of gratitude.
That's where you touch it for luck kind of thing before you walk out to the shop.
I would restore it again and put it like in the hallway. I want a building that I actually have a hallway that I can do that. But 5-year plan would be, I mean, you know, the kids are, you know, they're getting older. They're in high school. So, you know, my son is a junior, so he's got a year and a half.
He'll be 21 in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to even be a 5 years. Probably more like a 3. I mean, it's really, I'm waiting on my daughter. But it would be to sell the house, get another one with more property, and an outbuilding. You know, maybe like a 50 by 60, 50 by 70 building. You know, where I could fit more machines, and you know, I want to be able to have a machine and I can walk around the machine.
Well, you got a cool opportunity with your kid, and David, if you're watching this is geared 100% towards you.
Yeah.
Is you can still be that backing, and that backing as, you know, I work my 9 to 5. It's still a hobby to me, but guess what? I'm going to fund the hobby. Son, you take
Run away with it
and make it what you want. I'm going to back you. So the kid's got one of the most gangster opportunities in the world. He's basically got an investor in his father. He's got the skill set that he's coming up with, and he can take it as far or as as close as he wants. It's completely up to him, and that's where that mindset comes in. So if you're watching, dude, 10x it, take it to the house.
He was supposed to come with me on this trip.
Yeah?
But he's got school, and
I get it.
But I as I'm wowed by this, I'm looking and I'm seeing it through his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, God, he would be gushing over this. He would love everybody here because everybody's so young and youthful. Man, he would see the ping pong tables and all the hosses. He plays with hosses all day long.
Well, all
at
the
school.
schools do, man.
Yeah, I know.
Haas is genius. Genius for getting into those vocational schools, those trade schools, and doing what they do. But that's again, getting back to the side conversations. I wish this was like a damn reality show and they could have followed us through dinner last night, cracking a couple beers, and just the side conversation that led into all of this and kind of gave the timeline of what we're going through right now, because it's just genuine. You know what I mean? It's fun conversations, genuine, and that's where we want to keep this.
Last night was incredibly warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, look, I'm gonna meet a couple strangers I've never
You drove
met before.
8 hours to meet
Drove
strangers
8
off the
hours.
internet.
Yeah, I
Don't do
sat
this,
down
kids.
and I talked to you, Jordan, and I'm like, God, I hope he's like, like wanting to meet like an hour or two from now, because I'm like exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, here's the address, we'll meet you there. And I was like, all right. And I'm looking for it. And the town, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took some video clip. We'll put that in the video.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the kind of town that, downtown.
Mm-hmm. Wapakoneta.
Wapakoneta.
So you know what our claim to fame is, right?
I was going to say the cast iron skillets.
No, it's the home of Neil Armstrong.
Home of Neil Armstrong.
Yeah. So the first man to walk on the moon, allegedly.
Yeah, right.
Right. He actually did. I know he did.
There's no stars in the photos. Why?
Yeah, the flag was waving. No, the guy walked on the damn moon. But that's our little town, and everybody says that. And once you live in that place, you take it for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because where I come from, so I'm from Easton, Pennsylvania. Actually, the town of Easton will have what I call the old school storefronts.
Mm-hmm.
The buried deep and the real tall ceilings and like
Right.
the fans that are brought down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there is something so timeless about that. So cool.
It keeps coming back in style. It
Yes.
goes away, it comes back. It goes away, it comes back. Just don't touch it, and for the next foreseeable lifetime,
Yeah,
it will always be iconic.
beautiful, and it was so quiet. We left. It was like dead quiet.
Yeah.
So nice and peaceful.
Oh, last night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's small town USA. I've lived all over the place, and you throw a dart at a globe, and I guarantee you I've lived within 200 miles of it. And coming back, I'll never forget from Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and coming home, and where I grew up was very backwoods country and in between Sydney and Ann, Ohio. Being at my parents' house, they got a big pond out back, and laying outside in August, looking up and seeing every single star. Because in Atlanta, you don't see a star because there's so much, light pollution, and there's this, and there's so much noise, and just dead silence. You could legit hear a car coming 4 miles down the road. And you're
I
like,
believe it.
Dude, this is gangster. But no, that's cool. So I'm happy. Do you have any questions for me?
I got to get a FlexArm.
Yeah, you do.
Honestly, yeah, because let's talk about FlexArms for a second. When Jordan, sent me the email,
Mm-hmm.
we want to come down and stuff, and just looking at the FlexArm, remembering using it at John's open house, I immediately have a need now because there's so many times. And here's the thing: I'm always doing orders of 50 pieces, 100 pieces, 10 pieces. But that's saving that extra step, and I'm one guy with one machine, so I have to break a machine down and set it up for tap.
Mm-hmm.
So that having a dedicated tapper, whoosh, whoosh, real easy. That's growth.
So clutch.
It's small growth for a small company, but
So clutch. No, it's funny because you get the guys that ask, "Oh, I don't do any production tapping." Awesome. You don't either. Neither does. Out of my 30,000 customers that we have, 15,000 of them do production tapping. 15,000 of them are job shops. well, 14,000, and then 1,000 of them are actually R&D facilities.
Mhm.
That they're prototyping and they're R&D, and they never do the same thing twice. So it fits everybody, you know. That's what we wanted to design a product, and not us. This thing developed when I was born, but Nick's grandfather, you know, Dick Kennedy, wanted to design a product that fit every industry. You know, my wife tries to explain what we do sometimes, and it's funny to hear. I just let her go because she's got the idea, but she's got the idea, but some of the details are funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, well, what kind of customers, you know, does he work with? And she's like, it's easier to say who he doesn't work with. And it's literally like textile companies. Like, we don't work with clothing companies, but the machines that make the clothing, we work with those guys. The line builders, the builders, we work with those dudes.
And I'm sure that the FlexArm has to have the same phenomena as like a pocket knife.
Yeah.
How many times have, you know, you heard somebody go like, why do you carry a pocket knife with you? Well, you know, for opening boxes and stuff.
When I need it, it's there.
But you put a pocket knife in, and suddenly there's a million reasons
Uh-huh.
to use it, and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, you got yours. Yeah, it's just there. That's family Christmases at my wife's family, you know. Steven, where's your pocket knife?
Always got it.
You're chucking a knife.
So there's always a hole to tap. There's always something. And like you say, you could switch it out for die grinders and different things. So
Good.
yeah, I definitely want to get one for the
That
shop.
makes me
That'll
happy.
be
How many times did I say so in this one? Did I say so a lot?
I think I counted 14.
Oh, that's not bad.
All right.
I'm really trying to cut that down.
You have your Sodar up.
I got my so's. I got a lot of so's. So, leading into it, so. And then you get comments. God, these young people these days just can't have a conversation without starting it with or so.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do any vocal fry.
Yeah, so sorry. Yes, I do not.
Yeah.
That's sorry. I am a hipster. I am the farthest thing from a hipster. I love hipsters, but I am not a hipster at all. I burn firewood. I eat meat, drink beer, drive a truck, love guns. I like America. No, that's good for me, man. I think we can wrap it up and give your plug. Where do we find you? What's the YouTube channel? What's the
YouTube channel is Basement Shop Guy, all one word.
Yes, all one word.
My company is Maple Lane Machine and Tool, and I guess that's really it. I don't have any other locations.
Good. We're gonna work on that Instagram handle. We're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Instagram. One word, Maple Lane Machine and Tool. Find me. Hit me up. Hashtag.
Hashtag holla at your boy.
With a little garbage fire of
So
hashtags.
your kids are gonna be like, oh.
This is where he'll stop the video
Yeah,
and
and
show it his
and we're
friends. I'll
done.
be like, all right, the video's
Yeah,
done. I just talk about some
dad
business stuff.
Dad jokes are gonna come in now. So no, look him up, get on, check it out. He's gonna start doing really nice new videos. Next week, a video is gonna drop, guaranteed.
If I can get a FlexArm from these guys, I promise them I will post a video every week. This week in FlexArm.
I don't
We're
think
mixing butter today.
Did
We have
that
no
microphone. Pick that up. I didn't.
No, I'm definitely gonna get it. You know, every company needs to budget for machinery,
Right.
for growth, and this is no different.
Do it for the future, man. Do it for your kid. Look at your child. Look at him and say, "This is for you." We're done. Bye. Thank you, guys. Thanks, brother.